can't get the same level of quality with a tennis ball that you would get with a foam roller. But you can get a lot of work, particularly through areas like your hips. I mean, you can take the ball and work, you can just put it in your calf. You can find the sore spots in your calf. You'll be able to find, even with your hamstring, I mean, you can do it. It's just, it's a lot more difficult. The roller makes it easier. But if you're looking and saying, okay, what's my budget? If my budget's zero, I'm doing tennis balls. If my budget's a little more significant, then I'm going to be doing foam roller work. The one thing that I would tell you with foam rollers is, again, stay in the area. If you've got, stay in the important areas: glutes, hip rotators, posterior shoulder. And when we start talking about adductors, the one thing that we want you to see, it was funny because we had these people at they performed better thing in Secaucus yesterday, and everybody kept going by the ballroom that we were in, looking in and going like, what are these people doing? Because they're lying on the ground, rolling around in these rollers, grunting like, ugh, ugh. And I'm like, it looked like a reptile mating class or something. Like, what the hell are these people doing? And this is even worse, because what we've realized is to get people to be able to get in their adductors, you've got to get them where they can sit with enough pressure on the roll. I was very, very surprised. I started doing this because I have a client who has a real bad groin issue. He's like, I don't really feel it. And so I started thinking, how can we get him to feel this? Because if he's lying, he doesn't get a whole lot of weight on it. And you will be very, very surprised when you sit up. It's like, even like you can get right up into the attachment points of your hamstrings and of your adductors and be able to work. And you'll probably find that anybody who's had a groin injury or a groin pull, I have problems on my right side. I have a lump that I didn't really know was there, but now I'm like right there. I'm just like, bump, bump, bump. I can feel as I go through it. The good thing is it's getting smaller. But you've got to keep working on it. So you've got to realize, when you start, the first thing you're trying to do, tissue quality. Get that, and the easiest way to look at it, and I went and I grabbed the band and then I didn't have it, but when you think about tissue quality, if you're trying to kind of get your arms around this and have it make sense, we always talk about people have knots. I'll get knots in the muscles, right? If I have knots and I stretch, I don't stretch in the knot, right? The knot, if you look, that part that's tied in that knot, if anything, it gets tighter, but it doesn't stretch. Muscles are the same way. If I unwind the knot, now all of a sudden, I got plenty of extensibility. So if you're trying to stretch, I think if you stretch without rolling, it's probably actually more counterproductive, because you're probably actually getting people to gain length on either side of the knot. If we took this and tied it back in the knot, and then we pulled on it until it broke, like if I said to Geraldine, okay, you hold your end, I hold my end, if we just kept pulling and said we get days and we're going to just keep pulling,